It was a chilly October evening in the quiet suburb of Pinebrook, Ohio. The leaves rustled under the weight of the wind, and the early sunset bathed the neighborhood in a fading orange glow. 16-year-old Emily Carter had the entire house to herself for the weekend. Her parents, Mark and Jennifer Carter, had left that morning for a short anniversary trip to the coast, trusting their responsible daughter to hold the fort until Sunday evening. Emily was a typical high school junior. Smart, responsible, maybe a bit introverted. She didn't mind being alone. In fact, she looked forward to it. Quiet weekends sounded perfect. She planned to binge her favorite true crime shows, order pizza, and maybe even sneak in a late-night bubble bath without her younger brother knocking on the door every 5 minutes. By 8 p.m., Emily had already started her movie marathon. The house was dark except for the glow of the TV. She curled up under a throw blanket with a bowl of popcorn, enjoying the silence. Occasionally, she would check her phone, respond to texts from her best friend, Lily, or scroll through social media. Everything felt normal. Until it didn't. At 9:13 p.m., as she was halfway through an episode of Murder Town Mysteries, Emily's phone buzzed. It was a notification from her Ring doorbell camera. Her heart jumped slightly, not from fear but from surprise. She hadn't ordered anything, and no one was supposed to be visiting. She tapped the notification and opened the live feed. Nothing. Just the empty porch, dimly lit by the front lamp. Maybe it was a squirrel or the wind blowing past the motion sensor. She shrugged it off. But the feeling of unease began to creep in. She muted the TV and sat quietly listening. Silence. She stood up and checked all the doors. Front door locked. Back door locked. Garage entrance secure. Just to be safe, she turned on a few more lights in the hallway and kitchen. The shadows receded, but the uneasy feeling remained. Back on the couch, she resumed her show. A fictional killer's footsteps echoed from the speakers, but this time they didn't feel so fictional. Emily paused the show. Her eyes shifted toward the hallway leading to her bedroom. She could have sworn she heard something. A faint, barely audible creak like someone stepping on wood. She held her breath. Another creak. This wasn't part of the show. Emily slowly rose and walked toward the hallway. Her heart thudded with every step. She flipped the hallway light switch on. Nothing. She checked her room. Me. Then the guest room. Me. Then she opened the door to her brother's room, and her blood ran cold. The window was open. Emily was certain it had been locked. She even remembered closing it herself that morning. She backed away, her hand trembling as she reached for her phone. 9:27 p.m. She dialed her dad's number. "Hey sweetheart, everything okay?" Mark's voice was cheerful but immediately concerned when he heard the panic in hers. "Dad, I think someone might be in the house. One of the windows is open. I know I closed it. I heard something in the hallway earlier too." Mark's voice turned stern. "Emily, I want you to get out of the house. Right now. Go to a neighbor's house and call 911. I'm calling them too." Emily nodded, even though he couldn't see her. "Okay." She hung up and started toward the front door when the power suddenly cut. Darkness swallowed the house. She froze. Her breath caught in her throat. The silence was deeper now, more suffocating. And sound. From the basement. Heavy, dragging thump. Emily turned the lock on the front door and yanked it open. Cold air hit her like a wave, but she didn't care. She bolted out barefoot, sprinting across the lawn to the Johnsons' house next door. Mrs. Johnson answered within seconds, startled by Emily's panic and pale face. She ushered her inside, wrapped her in a blanket, and handed her the cordless phone. Emily's fingers trembled as she dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? There's someone in my house. I'm at my neighbor's now, but someone got in through the window. I heard them. I think they're in the basement. Police arrived within 10 minutes. Emily and the Johnsons watched from their window as officers surrounded the house. Flashlights flickered in every room. One of the officers emerged, holding something in a plastic evidence bag. It was a knife. Another officer followed, escorting a man in handcuffs, A man Emily had never seen before. Middle-aged, ill, dirty clothes, disheveled hair. Officer Williams, who had responded to the call, came over to talk to Emily and her neighbors. The suspect had been hiding in your basement. Based on what we found, it looks like he may have broken in during the day and waited for the house to be empty. But then he realized you were still here. That may have spooked him. Emily's voice shook. What did you find? Sleeping bag, food wrappers, duct tape, rope. He had been camping out down there for at least a day. Emily felt sick. Her parents returned early the next morning. Jennifer held her daughter tightly and didn't let go for a long time. The man, identified later as Howard Briggs, had a long criminal history, including burglary and stalking. He had escaped from a minimum security prison in Michigan 2 weeks prior. Police believed he had been making his way across state lines, breaking into homes to hide and steal supplies. Emily never stayed home alone again after that. The media picked up her story. It aired on a few local networks and even appeared on a national crime podcast. People called her brave, lucky. But Emily didn't feel lucky. 4 months afterward, she couldn't sleep with the lights off. Every creak, every gust of wind, every odd ring notification sent her into a spiral of anxiety. Therapy helped, so did time. But the memory never fully faded. She eventually moved out when she went to college in Boston, but that house in Pinebrook always carried the echo of that night. Her family replaced the windows, reinforced the doors, and installed a new security system. But the feeling of violation, the sense that someone had been lurking in the shadows of her sanctuary, remained. One night, during her freshman year, Emily got a message from her younger brother, Jake. "You won't believe this. I heard a noise downstairs and checked the Ring camera. There was someone on the porch again, just standing there, not moving." He attached a still from the footage. It was blurry, but the figure looked unsettlingly familiar. It wasn't Howard Briggs. He was still behind bars. But it was a reminder. Safety can be an illusion. And some horror stories never really end. They just wait for a new chapter.